started.
How are we doing, everybody? This is episode 9 of the GNT show. Anton obviously here to my left.
How we doing?
And in the middle of here we have Johnny Jitzu Redmond. How are you?
I'm good.
I don't think we need
Thank you for coming on, Johnny.
I think we don't really need to kind of have an introduction to people. A lot of people who are going to watch us know who you are. So we wanted to get you on just for a couple of reasons. We've been following your career for a long time. Yourself and Anton, we always used to go to the fights at Tree Arena. I think you're always, I think nearly every Tree Arena card you're probably on the win.
That's like
good battle between Bama and Bellator and stuff like that. And I actually met you. There was a show I went to. I actually never said this.
Right.
I actually have a selfie of me and you on my phone.
Great stuff, mate.
I'll show you after.
I'm like the little post we obviously followed him. We walked, like Jackson was standing there. That bastard. There's so easy to come down. Just a fucking unit of a man. But no, as you can see, everybody got in the middle of the octagon now, being glass, it's his day time. In it, it's an unbelievable setup here in SBG Talent. So big thank you again from
Yeah, very welcome, lads. Yeah, 100%.
We're going to get into it, Johnny. Let's start off basics. Where did you grow up? How did you start in the fighting game?
Well, basically, I grew up in Ardnagraney, not too far from Pool up there, and airfields, surrounding areas down there, all there. Grew up there. I lived there until I was about 15 years of age, I think. Taekwondo was the first thing I came across as a child. I started from about the age of, I'd say 6 or 7, up until the age of 11. I done that. Then started kind of, coming into your teenage years, kind of fell out of that. Was playing GA, was doing other things, obviously women and stuff, and kiddies, discos and all that, and whatever else. Then started, my parents kind of moved house. We moved out to Malahide then, out to Seabury and Malahide. That's where my parents still reside now. I was out that way, and I was training in a gym. It was Jackie Skelly's at the time in Swords. Jesus, we're talking now. I moved to Malahide in my teens, so you're talking right through the teens. I didn't come across martial arts again until my early 20s then. So it was kind of late start to get into. I was about 23 when I got my first class.
That's actually hope for me as well. So I'm 24 and I always I wish I got into MMA. So it actually really goes to show you with your success, like it's never really too late.
No, it's never too late. I think, back even at the time when I started, I think, I remember the very first session I done, I looked in the room and I was out doing my bits of weights, my bits of pieces, and I looked in the room and there was my first coach, Paul Klauser, was in there and he was walking around with another guy. I sort of popped my head in the door and I says, what are you doing in here, lads? And they were like, doing a bit of jiu-jitsu, UFC. Now, before even UFC, I would have seen Floyd championships. And I was like, what, like the stuff Crow Cop does? And it was like, kicking people in the head. That just wowed me. I was like, what? But then I went in and I started rolling around with the lads, and these lads were a good bit smaller than me. Like these lads, these lads were like bantamweight size, and I was like, probably at the time I probably weighed about 93 kilos at 24, and I was like, big lad up here, heavyweight. Went in and started rolling around with these two guys, and they absolutely schooled me. Like, they tore me around the mats, like fucking footlocked me, armbarred me, choked me. I remember just walking out of the ring humbled. I was saying, like, how did them two little guys do that to me? And just ever since then, I was hooked on it. That was it. From next week onwards, I was at every class there, and then just progressed from there. And here we are now.
In the soya as he speaks.
Yes. Were you always a big lad? Even when you were
I was always tall, man. I was always tall. Now I won't say like I was kind of growing up. I was skinny. I was kind of skinny, tall and skinny, and got the slagging for being lanky. Then as I kind of matured into myself, I kind of grew into myself, athletic and stuff as well.
Lift a few weights, that's it. So, in your fighting career, like you fought light heavyweight and middleweight?
Fought light heavyweight, middleweight and middleweight. Welterweight as well, at 170 as well.
Oh my god. So let me ask this right now. What weight would you normally weigh? So obviously if you go
now, middleweight is my optimum weight, without a doubt. I fought the last fight in light heavyweight, kind of looking for advantages with the power and stuff like that. But it takes away disadvantages in the grappling there. Because you have to remember, the guys and the athletes up there at 93 kilos, like a lot of them are walking around at 100 kilo ripped to the bone. You know what I mean? They're athletes up there. So what I had to do was get me weight, but my optimum weight for me being like them up there is walking around at 90 kilo, being ripped and lean and then couldn't eat. Realistically, like, you know, I can be a light heavyweight, but I'm not really a light heavyweight. My frame and the way I'm built is I'm a middleweight.
Absolutely, and then even with that weight cut as well, people that are cutting from that weight just to get that back. If there was no weight cut, you probably wouldn't avoid it.
Yes, wouldn't have minded just going in like that, you know, like
that's kind of devil itself, weight cut. Yes. People that cut down mad weights, like you're even seeing fighters now, like you are, like people middleweights now, like Nelson, Yoel Romero, got down to middleweight, like.
Well, I don't think he's doing it now at the moment. He's like a light heavyweight. He's at the getting himself even bigger now. I think he's like walking around 220 now. So,
then they're putting out in 85.
Yes.
It's a joke. So, like, when you were fighting at middleweight, what were you walking down at?
About 90 kilo. About the week of the fight, I would have been 88 kilo. So I wasn't going in like massive going back in, but I was going in strong, solid. And that was optimum for me. You know, look at guys even in the UFC. Look at the champion now at the minute, Israel Adesanya. He don't put too much weight on. You know what I mean? That's his frame, that's his size, that's how he goes in. You know, like.
So he came from a kickboxing background as well. And remember he thought he went up to light heavyweight to fight for the belt.
Yes.
He thought it was going to be the same for his kickboxing. I think he didn't realise that grappling there was going to be much of a difference in the grappling. So that was what let him down. Because even when he weighed in like 199 pounds. Like.
That's right.
Under for a light heavyweight.
Yes.
Like,
so that's his walk around weight. Thereabouts he walked in at, you know.
Did you ever struggle with weight cuts?
Oh yeah, definitely. When I was making 170, the last few cuts to 170 I was making was a bit of a struggle. Like it was like I was literally getting helped out the back. I was looking at bright lights going blind. You know, that's people have no idea. Everybody thinks like we're fighters and think we just get in there and fight, but they don't understand the preparation of the weight cut and everything else and what you're going through. And you know, it's a tough game. There's two battles here. You're battling yourself the whole time, and then you have to win and have a fight. You know, like it's.
How many times did you put down throughout the week?
Probably about 5 times. There, yeah.
And then what was point of the thing? What made you say,
I just need to go up because it was like, you know, I was sort of even my welterweight cuts, I was probably still cutting from 88 or 90. So every time I do it, it just gets that little bit harder to get down every time, and it was killing me. So 185 is my weight. Listen, lads, you got to think about it as well. The pros and cons thing. Like look at most boxers, they don't cut any more than 2 kilos. Like they do not cut any more than 2 kilos. Like simply for the fact is, you're putting water out of the brain. You cannot take the headshots then. Like, you know, lads are getting rattled on a jab, like they're getting hurt on a jab. So you got to be realistic here, like, you know. Obviously there's bigger weight cuts in MMA because of the grappling advantage, and we get that. You cannot go overboard with it. At the end of the day, the fight still starts on his feet. Lads are still getting battered in the head, you know, like there has to be pros and cons. You can't go too far with that, you know.
Like I said, as well with boxing, there's so many weight divisions.
Yes.
Where they actually don't even need to.
They don't need to cut.
Whereas in MMA, it's like every 10 pounds, and then some lightweight to featherweight.
Well, I can see that a lot of shows now are introducing the weights like the super welterweights and these in between. And me personally, I hope they do get introduced into the sport long term and all divisions and all the major shows. Because it's going to help fighters. Because there's some guys there, you know, like, okay, they're fighting, say at middleweight, but really they're not a big middleweight. And if they had, say, a cut to like 81, and they could cut to 81 instead of 77 going too far, that would be their optimal weight. Do you understand?
Exactly.
So I think that's definitely something that needs to be looked at long term, like all around in the game.
Look, every 5 pounds, instead of being every 10, should be every 5. It just makes more sense.
It makes more sense,
Well, it doesn't make more, even just for the fire, it's a much more healthier way.
Do you remember making weight when you start? Obviously, you make your weight today for the fight, how do you recover? How do you get everything back into it?
Basically recover, like, you know, like I remember even in the early days, like before we were learning about nutrition, even really cutting the weight. So I remember cutting weight and not even thinking like that the insides are shrunk up and going and eating a fucking snack box and then getting sick out the car and doing like people don't understand what we were like in Ireland at the time. Like we weren't thinking UFC, fucking Bellator, like that. We were just going with the North, getting out of Ireland for the day, having a fight, you know what I mean, not getting into trouble for having a fight and thinking that was great, and you know, a day out. But then as time went on, you start to learn about things like the minute you finish your big weight cut now, like you've got a 2-litre bottle of water, you've got Epsom salt, like you must sip away at that for nearly about 2 hours, them 2 litres of water before you can even eat. You've got to get that inside replenished, everything in the stomach back motoring before you can actually eat again, you know. So it's
and you came from the point of like you said, you didn't know much about nutrition. Like you started fighting. You're like also looking back and doing research. Your force started fighting 2009. Yeah, the first time. That's right. That's a long time. Like I don't think half of the people who are fans of MMA even watch themselves. No. I think about it. I think I became a fan of say it was 2011, 2012. Exactly. So you probably would have been one of the first people that get into MMA really like that.
Have you seen the banner with you, Paul Redmond, Siri, Ashton Daily, Gregor, Henry?
That's right, yeah.
Even I remember when that first came out, it was all over the buses, everywhere. And that was they were people, if you look at MMA, they're the icons of the sport. That's right. They're the pioneers of the sport.
Yes, that's right.
We wouldn't have been sitting here, there wouldn't be a gym like this wasn't for that.
We were the
OGs of the game.
The Godfather.
When did you fully realise, right?
I suppose even after my first fight, I remember my first fight was an amateur fight. We were actually getting paid as amateurs. We were. It was like the so-called semi-pro. We were getting paid as an amateur fight. I fought up in the Nuri Sports Hall, a big basketball ring in the Nuri. I just remember walking out to that ring that night, just the sound hitting it. Saying to myself, what was not this is for me. And I remember getting in, having me fight. I ended up getting to go in an armbar in the first round. Don't even ask me how I ended up in the first armbar and but I got it. And I was like, wow, that was it. I knew there and then. I said, if I put my time into this, I can do okay at it. But don't get me wrong, I've had the ups and downs in the game. I've bounced back and things. This is the thing about mixed martial arts fight. There's so many ways to lose. There's so much to go wrong. You know, it's just a challenge. It's the most challenging thing out there. I think even for yourself as an athlete. There's no sport like this. You know, like
absolutely, and it's like the amount of stuff they have to do. Like compared to yourselves, and the people in the triathlon these with street sports. Yeah, with MMA, like obviously you're fighting with the hard yourself. You're boxing, you're Muay Thai, you're Jitzu, you're wrestling. Yeah, everything. And then you have to
study about making weight.
And then everything. And then you have to study about the fire. You have to watch tapes, and it's just there's a lot to it. You know what I mean? And this is kind of what we're going back to. A lot of our episodes are going to go back to sport that is recognised.
Yes.
And even though MMA is a very well-known sport, it's still not recognised by a lot of stuff that
the process of what athletes go through.
Like a lot.
Yes. Many times a day would you train when you were coming to your athlete?
People say like you hear from people they train 3 times a day and this and that. That's all bullshit. Listen, you come in for your hard session, and you'll do your hard session, you'll do a little bit over. Then in the evening time, the only thing you'll be really doing is staying loose, maybe home pads, do a little technical thing, light walks or a light little run just to keep busy, stuff like that. You know, this business is saying come to the gym, I train for 8 hours. Dig your hole, train.
Yeah, you get that.
Do you know what I mean? You trained an hour and a half max. That was it. Then your body is done.
We spent 4 hours in the gym pulling the rudder off ourselves. You know what we do? It's one
no comment. No comment.
It's one podcast with the course I have on. You know what I mean?
Through time, you've gone through basics how you're getting on, and already you've probably had a lot. But we want to know now, where have you fought? You fought all over the world.
Yeah, we fought all over the world. Fought even as far as Beijing, China. Even before COVID was here, fought Beijing. This was a show called Dream Room Man. It was actually in the Olympic, the water cube, which was the Olympic stadium there in Beijing, for all the for the sports there. Yeah, so it was an amazing experience there. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I've been to New York and that, and seen like the lavish things and things, but I tell you, Beijing is lavish.
Really?
There's money there, but
And then opponent was your forms, your written book, but who do you think is the toughest type of opponent? Like, when you went to Beijing, who would you play there?
yeah, the guy's name was translated as Sun Shining. Sun Shining. Yeah, he was a good guy. He actually beat me by a footlock. The guy did. He caught me with a footlock. The jiu-jitsu level, I was actually very surprised there. I watched most of the fights when I was there. The jiu-jitsu level was quite high there in China, you know, like it's a big thing. I think there's a Gracie influence there. There's a lot of things, a lot of schools opening around China, yeah.
Asia itself.
Oh yeah, it's massive. Massive, massive. Yes.
So,
hey, so look how the sport is evolving all the time. It's getting better. Like there's very little between all the athletes now. You know what I mean? There's physical ability and stuff, but skill. Everyone knows the skill. Everyone knows that it's the little edges in mental fitness and things that win a fight now. You know, like,
well, last week, which is that was in Marbella.
that was in Marbella, yes.
Yeah. And then where exactly the fight in?
The show in Marbella, like it was in an outdoor arena there. It was called European Fighting Championships. It was actually in a bullfighting arena. Bullfighting outdoor arena.
We said you fought in fucking everything.
Yes, mate. I have done everything. I've actually fought in front of the King of Jordan there. I fought in the Middle East there for Cave Warriors.
You've made some living, like some experience.
Yes, that's one thing I'll say about the fight. Yeah, you get to travel the world with this when you get up into the level. That's one thing. I got to see a lot of things with this game.
And even the people you've trained with since. We'll come into it in a minute, but I remember we all went to the fight Charlie Ward and McGregor Tom Cage.
That's right.
That was a mad experience for you.
Yeah, it's a mad out experience. Yeah.
And now you're sparring with
now I do.
How is it with him? Is that quite bad? Because we had Sean McConnell on 2 weeks ago who trains at Western Chelsea.
Yes.
You know Sean McConnell?
Yes.
He was on and he couldn't be put in, but he was over there.
Yes.
And he said he really is.
Yeah, look, he's a top man. Like I've done a few spars with Connor now over area camps he had and stuff like that. You know, Connor's a top lad. You know, things get heated. You know, at the time when I fought Charlie, you know, things got heated, jumped in. It was what it was. Yeah, WWE. You know, and then you go back the year after that, and then I'm in the car with Connor spinning around. Listen, there's no hate in this game. It is what it is. Tempers get fired. It's like a football match. Tempers get fired. People go on to the pitch. What the fuck?
And I think a lot of people don't see that, don't they? I think that, like, it's probably never hated. You always know as much shit that goes on, you always shake hands at the end of it.
It's not exactly. You've got passion for what you do, you know, on both sides of the octagon. Two teams of passion. It is what it is. Things can happen. Things are said, whatever. But after that, there's no emotions. There's no hate. There's none of that.
And
Exactly.
In that last fight, right, so they're looking at the fella that you're fighting, and the face-off that you had with He's looking at a knock on the stage.
Yeah, I was kind of, you know, we sort of went into each other's thing and sort of, you know, he started pushing me a bit and I was like, I'm not having any of that. That's what happens.
Well, at the same time, you shake hands with them.
Yeah, we shook hands after. They shook hands after. I think we played. You even threw me a bag of jellies or something. You got it off the machine. It's just what it is, man. It's not. What makes, like I said, it's like a football match. Okay, we're getting in one-on-one and we're punching the face off each other. I get that. We're doing what we're doing, but it's no different to a team sport. This is just what we did, you know. And then after it is what it is.
And that's a big. So with that, then, like on that day, like you kind of announced that was your last fight.
Yes, mate.
Over Instagram. So like, do you regret that decision? No, yes, I know.
You missed the bulls of aiming for something.
Look, you know, there's definitely a thing of competition. You know, it keeps you driven, it keeps you switched on. You've got the discipline in your life and stuff like that. But look, I've had a long career in MMA now. I'm not ruling out ever again not coming back to a mixed martial arts. If the right fight came for me, the right situation, you know, decent enough money, I might take it. But for now, you know, and the girlfriend is expecting a baby now. We're expecting a baby in January, so you know that's got my time tied up at the minute. You know,
that's the
my girl needs my time and stuff like that. You know, when you come to training camps, you spend a lot outside the house, you know, your focus, you know, the mood is different, the camp, you know, so, you know, I want to give Joanna time now to do everything else, and then, you know, after that, maybe we might look at something again after, you know, pro boxing could be an option as well. That's something I've always kind of swung towards. You know, I'm boxing a long time in MMA, and you know, my best wins in MMA are by clean weight and knockouts, walkovers.
As I was only saying to you, I'll never forget it, because at this point, you fought his memory, man, straight. The very start of the second round, he just caught him. Clean, and he hit the neck, and I remember I had a guy in the fuck me. That's all
I got that Mark Hunt home the wall. You know what I mean?
It was. I remember that.
It's like I say, man. You know, when all the bits of the fame you have, and you know all whatever titles or accolades, man, or any of that shit. Like all you really have, and this is over, is your toilet, isn't it? That's what you look back on. That's your goals. That's your thing. That's what I do. You know, so that's what you show your grandkids and your kids. And kids. That's what it's all about, really.
I'm not gonna get all sloppy, but I know John, your son.
Oh yeah.
I know John, he loves mangoes.
Oh right, very good, yes.
Even him now, surreal things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's better boxing himself. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And even he went back in the.
That's right. Yeah.
Even for him, he must be, you know, like waiting and
Well, I suppose in ways like, you know, to him, he's just probably been used to his dad doing that as well. But I suppose he just takes it back and looks like my dad does that. You know,
and even
the new child comes along. But like probably when the new child is John's age, I'll be an old man then, and then it'll be like, look, what are you doing?
That's why you're hoping to get the soul just do whatever.
Look, it's like this, it's like even with John, I never forced boxing on John, and it was never like, you're doing this, or drag him to boxing. He came to me at 15 and started boxing late, I wanted to do that. I think that I'm a firm believer in this one, and kids, don't force kids to do anything. If you force them to do things, they'll hate on it, and they feel it's a chore. They have to want, it has to come from them. It's like even this sport, like no one can just become a fighter. They have to want it, it has to come from, you know, so that's one thing, you don't force that on people. Let them figure their own way, no matter what it is in life, whether it's fighting, anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, guys, well, you go ahead. While you're toying with your fights, any crazy one, any crazy story, whether it's training, maybe getting injured, like that. You're born so many different ways.
They're the craziest sort of injury.
They are the crazy bad, and let's be honest.
Stuff for.
The way you mean to say that.
You can see a little scar there. I remember I was warming up in the changing room for Cage Warriors back in 2012 it was. I was doing knees up off the chest, and the mat slid like that. I went over on the foot and I broke the fifth metatarsal in half in the middle of the foot. Yeah, I remember everyone in the changing room. There was Andy Ryan was in the changing room. Andy Ryan was there. There was John Cadman was there. Conor McGregor was there after his first fight against. He had his first UFC fight. Was there. Mark Goddard. And I remember like when I done it, everyone in the room was like, "Oh, what's that? That's a break." I was like, "No, it's not." But I knew straight away it was broke. So Mark Goddard came in and they strapped my foot up. I remember Conor was there, Mark Goddard, and he was saying to me, "Do you want to go out here and fight?" And I knew that like we weren't going to get these opportunities too often. The Cage Warriors came to Ireland and stuff like that. It was when they first were starting. So they actually strapped me up. So I went out with the broken foot. Fight didn't go my way. I fought well in the fight. Didn't go my way, but I ended up getting the contract with Cage Warriors anyway because they knew I went in with the broken foot and showed hard. So that was probably the maddest thing.
And it's just with that question. See when you walk out, your foot was picked up, and you go out and you get worked out and stuff like that. That's the condition. So did they not look at you?
They didn't know that my foot was broke, so my foot was basically just strapped with. And I had the Muay Thai covered on my foot.
Sneaky bastard.
So know, but like I even remember in the fight, like even I would have rather no break in between the rounds, or even the break in between the rounds, and that little dip and adrenaline, and when I was walking out of the fight, I could feel the crack. No, I didn't even realise it was as broke say as it was. It was only like even after the fights that night I had went out, I think I went to the rice venue or something after, and I remember waking up the next day and the pain was out, like that lads, like literally like my own neck. So I ended up going, I went to the hospital then the next day, ended up getting the x-ray and doing whatever, and yeah, snapped the base of the fifth metatarsal in half. Don't ask me how I was walking.
2 steps to gap.
Any other injuries or anything like that?
No,
That was really good.
That was the worst. That was the worst.
Did you hear the last story?
Yeah. Alright, we're just doing a podcast about it. Oh, yes.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not editing that.
We're not editing that.
He's never told me off.
Yeah, basically just injuries and stuff like that. Yeah, so that was the worst. That was the worst thing that happened.
What do you do? You hear people would get really injured, like even this white there, that's a lot of breaking
It's like the similar thing to Anderson Silva, what happened to him, and it's like
it happened. So Anderson Silva broke his leg against Chris Wilder, and Chris Wilder broke his leg the same way.
the same way,
So
yeah.
he's come back on it.
Yeah, exact same way.
Exact same way, yeah.
So that's what I mean. So.
Johnny, this is what we want to get you on. The whole point of our podcast is to recognize people in a sport or what they do. It can be a sport, just doing that with
Yeah.
and it's anonymous here. You go home backyard and learn from you. You throw, to me, it hasn't been here. It's anonymous.
He's a welcome
Thank you.
boys, yeah. They're definitely welcome.
That's what we want to get down because you're already recognised, people know you, but I just don't think you're recognised enough as what you should be. And this is, and as I said, for another decade that has evolved with me. Yeah, it's a big pleasure and really thank you for knowing. And that's really it from us.
We get a little loose to finish this soon.
Johnny Jitzu here, just getting off. Who's the fuck?